It says, while researching a topic, a student has taken the following notes. Most, but not all, of the moon's oxygen comes from the sun via solar wind. Okay, moon's oxygen via solar wind. All right. Cosmochemist Kentaro Tereda wondered if some of the unaccounted for oxygen could be coming from Earth. So again, moon's oxygen, whether accounted for, unaccounted for, they are specifying and talking about moon's oxygen. So oxygen. Okay. In 2008, he analyzed data from the Japanese satellite Kaguya. Okay, Kaguya gathered data about gases and particles it encountered while orbiting the moon. Okay, so moon. Based on the Kaguya data, Tereda confirmed his suspicion that Earth is sending oxygen. Okay. Now, even before we start working on the question, I would like to know from you guys, why do we have all this over here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 details or these 5 pieces of information? I mean, is it doing any good to us? Like, is it making things better? Why do we have all this information?
Not exactly. It's kind of distracting us from the main question.
Is it? So you're trying to say that we don't need these?
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, fine. We do need some of them, like the first 2, but then the rest of it's
We do
kind of not
need
there.
some of them. We do need some of them, but
Yeah, not all of them though.
So I think this is an important one. This is an important one. This is an important one. All right. Okay. Now, if you look at the question says the student wants to emphasize the aim of the research study. So, what is the objective or what is the goal? So, which choice most effectively uses relevant information from the notes to accomplish this goal? Okay. So, A. So, what do we understand by A? A for America, Rishi? Do we keep it?
It's telling it's telling what the satellite it's talking about. It's
Yes,
talking
see,
about how
first,
the chemist found his
what is the
aim.
aim of the research study? What is the aim of the
It's trying
research
to
study?
it's saying the moon's the aim is to show that the moon's oxygen comes from the sun via solar wind.
That is not the aim. That is not
I
the
think
aim.
he tries to find that the oxygen in the moon is coming from Earth or not.
Yes. So basically, if we have to understand, the objective or the goal of the experiment is to find out the source of oxygen on moon, right? Yes, the source of oxygen, right?
Yes.
Yes. So if we look at A, as it orbited the moon, this collected data doesn't work. It is talking about collection of the data, but nowhere it is trying to, give some evidence to vouch for the fact or to, support that the oxygen in moon is coming from Earth, or it is coming from sun, or it is coming from solar wind, right? So option A we can strike off. B for Bombay. Before 2008, Kentaro Tereda wondered if the moon was receiving some of its wondered. This is science and we need to talk about facts. We are not going to rely upon anything that the scientist is wondering or something, right? Okay. Cosmo chemists this set out to determine whether some of the moon's oxygen was coming from Earth. This could be the answer. Why? Because if you look at all the pieces, look at this, trying to find out whether moon's oxygen is coming from sun via solar wind, trying to find out from where this unaccounted for oxygen is coming. Again, look at here. It confirms its suspicion, confirming the suspicion that Earth is sending oxygen to the moon, right? So could be the Kentaro Terada study determined that Earth is sending a small amount of oxygen to moon. Small amount? We don't know how much amount.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
So the answer should be C for Canada. Good work, Dohil. This was a hard one. This was a hard one, a tricky one actually. In fact, most of the students, they would go wrong. They would get confused. Nobody would be choosing anyone among A and B. That's quite obvious. C or D. Most of the students, in my experience and all my sessions, I've seen picking up D for Delhi. Why? Because you have this. Earth is sending a small amount of oxygen to the moon, right? Now, my question is, in all this piece of information and details that you have, we do have a detail which says that Terada confirmed his suspicion that Earth is sending oxygen to the moon. But any of the information above, does it at all talk or claim that a small amount, do we know how much amount of oxygen is coming from the Earth to the moon? Small, large amount, or the whole amount, or whatever. It's just that Earth is sending oxygen. Okay? So the answer has to be C. Good work, Dohil. Very good. Okay.